Am I audible?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay, thank you so much for confirming. We are going to start very soon, like in 1 minute. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the day 2 of our faculty development program on corporate governance, business ethics, and legal compliances in the contemporary business environment, organized by School of Law, Netaji Subhas University, in collab with SADA Law House Private Limited. It's so lovely to see so many familiar names here again, and we hope yesterday's session left you with some great takeaways. Today, we continue this journey with yet another engaging session. Before we begin, just a quick request to everyone. I request everyone to please turn on their cameras for a quick photo shoot, as we have done earlier. Everyone, please turn on your cameras. Okay, it's done. Thank you so much, everyone. Just a quick request to everyone to please make sure your mic is mute unless you are speaking, and feel free to use the chat box during the session to share your thoughts or any questions if you are having. Let's move to the most awaited part of this evening, our speaker introduction. We are truly honored to welcome our speaker of the day, Ms. Anushri. Ms. Anushri is an assistant professor of law at Ramaiah Institute of Legal Studies, Bangalore. She holds a BBA LLB honors degree, an LLM in Constitution and Administrative Law. At RILS, she also plays the role for the Moot Court Faculty Coordinator, where she is in the advocacy and legal research, truly shaping the next generation of legal minds. Her passion for informative but also very relatable and impactful. Ma'am, we are very excited to have you with us today. The virtual floor is all yours, and we welcome you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, SADA Law House and Netaji Subhas Chandra University for me this opportunity. So let's move to the today's topic. I'll share my screen. Okay. So good evening, everyone. So today's topic is business ethics, theory, application, and contemporary issues. I hope the screen is visible for everyone, right? Screen, everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes. Okay. So here, if we go and if we see to the topic, it is my privilege to all of you and to speak on a topic that is increasingly shaping the present and future of commerce and governance, like that is business ethics. And in a world where lines between profit and principles often blur, Ethics Act emerged as not as a regular necessity, but it is a strategic and imperative. And today we are witnessing an era where stakeholders demand accountability, transparency, and social responsibility. So business ethic is no longer subject to reserved classroom discussion, or like we can say we can have a compliant manual where we can actually look into it. No, it is actionable philosophy with the power to build and break institution. So first of all, let's move to or understand what is business ethics or what this topic is all about. So business ethics means it is referred to an application of moral principles to the conduct of the individuals in an organization and their involvement in commercial activities. It encompasses values such as honesty, integrity, fairness, accountability, especially accountability for the work that we are doing, and the respect for the stakeholders. And ethics, when it comes to especially business ethic, is not just about following law, that we just mere follow the law or just follow the legal compliance, that following legal compliance in an organization or rules and regulations is a bare minimum. Ethics structures further, it's about doing what is right, just, fair, as well as even in situations where law is silent and ambiguous, our moral principle should lead us. And so fundamental questions that you should have in this mind while this session is happening is what should a business do, and what obligation does it have for employers, consumers, or society? And can the business be both ethical, or can we run a business which is very ethical and profitable? So these questions should be in your mind when it comes to. And also, as I already told you, business ethic means the principles and policies that we have, especially when in a company where we joining. What policies? Maybe the company will have multiple policies. Are we following it when it comes to? Are we ready to? Like sometimes there have been many examples where we have seen yesterday's session also, ma'am has discussed and told us where people are not looking into the ethical impact. They're just doing it for the profit, and they will put aside their ethics when it comes to profitability. So what is this importance of business ethics? What importance this business ethics actually has when it comes to the implementation, or what importance does it has actually is one of the look into. So the most importance or the importance that business ethics is having is there are several reasons that we can say business ethics is very essential, especially for the success in a modern business. For example, most importantly, if you see, defined ethics program are there, code of conduct, the code of conduct, employees behavior, in a behavior of you. See, sometimes you will be attending a conference or any of the activity, you will be representing your university or your company or anywhere. So there is an ethical code of conduct or a behavior that you should show because you are representing the whole company. That is, this has to be not followed. So we will say whether it has to be only followed by the people who are in the top tier position. No, it has to be followed from the executives to the teaching, non-teaching, or any in a company, whether if it's executive to the middle management to the newest or even the youngest employees. When all employees make ethical decisions, think, let's take a situation that in a company all the employees are taking ethical decision. The company establishes a reputation for ethical behavior. Its reputation grows and it begins to experience benefits and moral reaps. As well as if that happens, where in a company where all of us decides to take ethical decision, what will happen? Brand recognition and growth will be there. And there will be an increased ability to negotiate. And also there will be trust in products and services. And also customer retention and growth will be there. Customers will come back to you because you have done it with the responsibility. And there will be more talent, as well as investors will come to you if you are having an ethical business. And also all these factors, if you are combining or if you are looking into, the people who fail to have set ethical standards and those who have enforcing them will be doomed. Okay, for example, they will not have any other solutions. They will be doomed because they are not following it. So ethical standards are always important, especially when it comes to a business. You should be transparent, you should be accountable to your customers, or you should be accountable to the work environment that you have. Taking responsibility matters. So next, how this, let's little bit go to this historical perspective of business ethics. So if you take into consideration to the historical perspective of business ethics, this business ethics, if you take into consideration, has been originally came into picture in early 20th century. And also during 1970s and all, we can see lot of corporate scandals like highlighting ethical lapses. But today, for a company to have a very strategic management, business ethics is very, very important. And it is a very important tool. So if this tool is being there and if it is being followed, we can see the company growing. Okay. Especially when it comes to a small enterprise or a firm which is growing or which is coming up, they will have to follow their ethical standards. Sometimes we have been seeing people actually forget about this ethics in business, and to just gain money, they are ready to go to the extent that we can't even imagine. Like if you see any of the big companies and anything, if you see, you can see they does not follow that ethical or moral principles which is there. They just want to make money, so they will give you offers telling this is a product which can change everything. And see, even in an advertisement, before now consumer laws are very strict, so there is no advertisements which is like earlier times there was few advertisements telling that if you use this cream or if you use this thing, within 2 days your skin is going to glow. We all know that is fake, but there are people who used to believe on that and they used to go to the extent to buy it. So that kind of, that without ethics, if you do some business or anything, initially you will have any growth or anything, but later point of time you will be facing lot of issues, because ethics is a very important, especially when it comes to a strategic management in a company or in a place. Ethics is really important. Next, if you see, there are some key ethical theories. Okay, key ethical theories which is very, very important when it comes to the business ethics. So the first theory is utilitarianism, that is developed by thinkers like Jeremy Bentham or John Stuart. So this theory actually evaluates actions based on their consequences. That is, an action is deemed to be ethical if the result is in greatest good for the greatest number. So application is, you take any cost benefit analysis. Okay, companies often use this theory to weigh overall good. For instances, they will lay off few employees, and that might be justified to save a company and protect thousands of jobs. But does that make it right? Here lies the ethical dilemma. Recently, you have seen the news that Byju's, one of the top-notch educational firm, has laid on, when after post-COVID came off, they have laid off lot of employees without giving any notice or anything. But the explanation was it was to save the company. So is that theory right? Can any one of you answer whether doing like that, is it right according to you? That is greatest good for the greatest number. That is the theory which is applying. Do you think that theory is done as good or not? Can any one of you answer? Can I get an answer from anyone? Do you agree that it is good following in that way? Can I get a response? What do you think about this? Example is, as I already told, it's very simple. Recently, a company called as Byju's, what they have done is they have laid off many employees. Okay, and what they have done is the explanation that few employees, the explanation they give is few employees might be justified to save a company to protect 1,000 people job. So, do you agree? Is that right? According to your ethical consideration, do you think that is right? That is losing some people's job to save a company. Can I get a response from anyone? No, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. Because if it is not the way how we follow, right? It is not the way how you are supposed to come up with it, if you take into consideration. So yeah, as I told you, it is not the right. No, it's not ethical. True. It's not ethical to actually have a scenario like that, because you can't depend on, like, you can just to save a company affect the other people's life. Yes, that is right. Next theory, if you take into consideration, is it is deontological ethics. Okay, it is proposed by Immanuel Kant. So this theory says that actions are morally right if they follow a set of rules or duties. That is than other theory, which says means matter as much as ends. A company must not lie in its advertisement, even doing so increasing profit. Truthfulness is a moral duty regardless of consequences. So they are the symbol tell us company should not lie when it comes to its advertisements, even if the lie may increase the profit also. Truthfulness should be there. That is a moral duty. They should tell what the product actually does. They should not add up that your product can do magic, all that. Even the consequences will be bad or anything. Yes, we can take the example. Yesterday, ma'am has already dealt with the example of Johnson's and Johnson's. In that, if you see Johnson's and Johnson's, in the case, it was very clear that Johnson's and Johnson's hided the fact that there has been a very toxic chemical that is being used, and that is harm for the skin of babies. Okay, and then the explanation of the company was, yes, they have added it in the Johnson's and Johnson's. So when the court actually looking for checking it, it was there in the last. We can't even see that it is added in the last line of the product. If you turn the that thing, there has been, they have added this product is harmful to children, and we use that product to whom, to the children only. So that has been highlighted and given, and they actually hided the fact it has been dangerous. And that was one of the very big case that happened, and where they would have made lot of profits or anything, but they, because of that, they actually had to take away all the products in the market, and they actually got a loss also. So the main thing is truthfulness always matter. You should be truthful. Whether your product does magic or not, is that is temporary thing, but you should tell what it actually does, not add upon anything else. And also there was Maggie case, where Maggie had the presence of lead content, where they actually hided that fact. And then when the fact came out that it has the presence, they had to take up the entire Maggie product again back. Same in the case of dairy milk also. Yesterday we had already discussed about the live case examples. So there has been lot of cases that has been happening. So when it comes to law, we all know that we have consumer protection laws to protect us from this frauds or whatever issues that is there. But still, it is the duty of the companies to not lie in their advertisement. They should be very ethical and truthful to the matter, that what they are talking, what the product does, exactly that the matter they have to talk about. Then next, if you see, the another theory is virtue ethics. So this virtue ethics theory is done by Aristotle. Okay, and virtue ethics theory emphasizes that moral character over specific action. That is a manager. For example, you take a manager who is a very virtuous manager. Okay, he has to act with integrity, not because rule demands, but it was because it is in his nature to do so. So this theory underpins corporate culture building, where a goal is to nurture ethical character traits among employees. That is, it is the duty of a manager to make sure that his employees has honesty, courage, empathy, and humility. In this, if you ask me whether honesty is important, courage is important, or humility is important, I'll say all this is important. But empathy is one of the character that should be there in every human being and every person in a workplace. You should see one of your colleague is struggling. Maybe it will be with the workload or anything. Sometimes it will not be your duty to help them. You can stay back. You can say that it's not my duty to do so. Humility, or humility is secondary, but empathy towards others, to actually like, you should have that empathy, and you should help to others, especially when it comes to the matters, and you should able to feel the, and honesty, you should be honest to your work, and you should have the courage to face whatever it is. So this are under virtue ethics, especially when it is told by Aristotle. Next is few theories are there, if you see, especially if you look into theories are there. In that first theories, I would like to only specify this theory, that is the stakeholder theory. So this theory that is called as the stakeholder theory, it focuses on broader community of stakeholders. That is, it says that in an organization, it should be not only the employees, customers, suppliers. It also should include local communities, the people who have invested in a company, or the people who are just the stakeholders. Even the environment of the company matters. It's not the employees or employer. All this. So if, for example, you take a ethics standards when it comes to work, so this companies, they does not include only employees or employees. They include employees, the customers who buy the products of a company, and the suppliers, the local communities, and even the environment if you take into consideration. So a holder oriented firm should recognize long term success, and these successes not depends on seeing, oh yeah, we should get more profit. See, profit at the end of the time is, you have to concentrate on that. More than that, you should understand the interest of the people, especially the people. You have to see what your employees are needed, and you have to see about your customers. You have to look into the suppliers. You have to look into the local communities, and you have to see whether what the market structure is, what is the environment which is happening. So these all are important. Now let's go to the application of this ethics in business practice. How will you apply these ethics, what we discussed about business ethics? These, how will you apply these all theories that we discussed, and also the we discussed about the how fundamental questions relating to business ethics. So in this, all this theory, how the application when it comes to this in the business practice. So the application includes, first point in application is corporate social responsibility. So corporate social responsibility, or this is a very important issue, that is corporate. So we first of all, before me going to corporate social responsibility, I would like to state one more point. This application of this ethics in business practice also has corporate governance. So governance means what? The framework that guides or direction or control organization, that is ethical governance includes. That is, a company should be having always a transparent decision making, and it should have an independent board, and it should have a balanced executive compensation, and accountability mechanism should be there. And especially example is the Satyam scandal in India, which revealed the massive corporate governance failures. Ethical governance could have prevented such a very large scale fraud, right? So we should have corporate governance, and as well as we should have ethical governance when it comes to, and we should have little bit of workplace ethics. So you will think, what is workplace ethics? This includes employees' rights and a safe work environment and equitable treatment. Okay, we should have our rights to be heard. Even I am also an employee, my rights should be heard in my workplace, and we should have a very safe work environment. We should have a equitable treatment. Okay, there are some issues which include discrimination and harassment. That is, ethical business have zero tolerance policies, if you see. But this discrimination and harassment is one thing that always happens in many workplaces. I'm not saying discrimination happens, but yes, to an extent it actually happens. Okay, I'm just asking you, just a small topic, because it's my curiosity to know how many of you have heard about it. Do you still think, do we have equal pay for equal work right now, which is being implemented in many of the organizations? I would like to hear from any one of you. Do you think is that topic being covered, or yeah, in our workplace it is being given equal pay for equal work? Okay, I'm not talking only
No,
about quality. I'm not talking about the like the men woman issue. I'm talking about the even, for example, in my place or in any workplace that I'm working, I may be having equal qualification. Okay, other person B will be also having equal qualification. I would be paid maybe, if you take into consideration, um, maybe in a workplace, if the salary is 30,000, I would be paid 22,000. The other employee who is same, who is from my own place, who has the same qualification, same experience, same, maybe same law, same school also you take, from same graduation also we have done same. He or she is paid 25, I have paid 22. Do you think that is fair? Okay, when it comes to experience, I do agree. Experience matters. Yeah, the experienced senior professionals will have to get a higher pay. But when it comes to the same qualification or same quality, both of them does the same work. No. So, but this is happening in many of the workplaces. Many of the workplaces, if you see, yes, this has been happening. That is, there is no equal pay for equal work. I'm not taking the subject of men and women, because if we start talking here, it will not. It is another seminar where we can, or another topic which we can have another session. Because yeah, even men and women, there's a lot of disparity. Even if you take the entire pay scale or entire structure of it, there is still laws, even though we have Equal Remuneration Act under the labor laws, but still the implementation has not been done when it comes to that. But here it comes, the discrimination always happens, whether you are from any place or anything, it actually happens. Even in any of the organization, many organization, if you see, there has been happening this discrimination. The next, if you see, there is also another big issue, if you see, that is relating to employees must not feel safe to report unethical behavior, and also moving beyond tokenism or genuine equity opportunities. And companies, so recent progress, if you see, or if you look, have you heard, I think most of you would have heard about Accenture or Google, where there they have a comprehensive workplace ethics programs. That is, they have training and reporting channels. That is, if they see any unethical behavior by any of the employees, they have special channels to go and report it. So this is one of the major issues. About this whistleblower protection and other issues, I will discuss in the last content, because I've added a few separate slide on this issue, which, because we have to discuss it. And also, if you see, when it comes to like all other ethics, there is a lot of issues. Now let's go to corporate social responsibility. So corporate social responsibility means it is a business commitment to contributing to economic development while improving the quality of the workforce, their families, the community, and the society. In the Company Law 2013 in India, it is mandatory for the companies which has a specific turnover to follow this, or mandatory to have this corporate social responsibility. That is, it includes ethical labor practices, community engagement, and environmental initiative. So Company Act, as I told you, CSR is mandatory for certain firms, and it is a very significant step when it comes to institutionalizing business ethics. Okay, in business ethics, if you take into consideration, it is a very mandatory thing. Okay, because we have to give it importance, and the companies have to give it a very important thing. So if you see, under section 1, if I'm not wrong, under section 135 of Indian Companies Act 2013 mandates that companies meeting certain financial criteria to allocate a percentage of their net profit towards corporate social responsibility activities. This provision encourages the companies to contribute to social welfare and environmental sustainability. Crore or more, the company's net worth must be equal to or exceed its threshold. Second is, if the turnover is more than 1,000 crore or more, the company's turnover is more than that, then they have to profit of 5 crore or more, then company have to actually implement corporate social responsibility. And under section 35, that is, at least 2% of their average net profit should made during immediately preceding 3 financial years on CSR activity. Important. So this CSR activities can be, that is, they can do social. CSR means literally these companies have to invest in social welfare. That is, they can do, for example, they can do eradicating hunger and poverty. This includes like promoting sustainable agriculture or nutrition, promoting education. This includes activities like building schools, providing scholarship, promotional vocational training. I think how many of you would have noticed, right? Few people are aware. How many of you have seen that classmates notebook, which is there? Back earlier, now new classmate notebooks does not have that. earlier classmates notebooks, if you see, backside of the notebook, they had a picture very clearly given the that this is for social responsibility. Every are contributing this much money to the education of children in rural areas. Like that, they had their CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. Even in Zomato, you can see we are donating to this 2 rupees or 3 rupees that you add, we are donating to the poverty. All this, these are the CSR that they actually have. Okay. And also, if you see, I think Anmol sir has added anything. Sir, hello. Sir is
Along with Schedule 7 of Companies Act, talks about CSR policy.
Yeah. And also section 135 has very clearly told about it. And also, if you see, the companies fails to spend required 2% of CSR activities, it must transfer the unspent amount to the specified fund within 6 months from the end of financial year. So penalties may apply for non-compliance with CSR spending requirements. And also, if the company want to do any environmental sustainability activities like promoting renewable energy or conserving water or promoting biodiversity, they can do that also. So under section 135, which is mandatory, the companies, especially as I told, net worth of 500 crore or more, turnover more than 1,000 crore, or net profit more than 5 crore has to follow it. So next, moving on, stakeholder theory. I think I have already covered the stakeholder theory. That is, business have an obligation not only to the shareholders, they'll have to look into employees, customers, suppliers, and community. This is the theory all about. That is, all the interest should be covered when it comes to not only the interest of a specific community. When it under stakeholder theory, it is very clearly that theory focuses on a broader community of stakeholders that includes employees, customers, suppliers, local communities, even the environment, if you take into consideration. And this firm recognizes long-term success, that long-term success depends on diverse interest, not by maximizing profit. Okay. Next, if you see, we should have a ethics when it comes to marketing, especially you should see, I know every company wants to make profits, right? Especially, but that just to make profit, you should not give up your honesty or integrity. Companies must avoid the misleading advertisements, and if they have to have a proper channel, or if they want their customers to actually believe them, they should have a transparency and they should have trust and within. Before and all, I still remember why my mom used to make me do this. So see, now if you see, you'll not be seeing me as like I am like this, but I am a little bit short in height. But my mom, when in my childhood, my mom used to believe that since I'm very short, Boost can do magic. Okay, so she used to make me have Boost like every day. Every day after class, college, if I came from school, she will give me a milk with a glass spoon of Boost in it. This is mandatory that I should have it. There is no other way, because she used to believe the advertisement that I will become tall. Okay, and Horlicks. So I am a person, I think many of us will be a part of the same, where many of us would have been fall under certain advertisement. Even there are advertisement which we used to believe, if you put Fair and Lovely, within 2 days you will become very fair. Same way, we had an advertisement where we used to believe that if we take an energy drink, we can become like Superman, we can fly. They used to give false promises. Even now also, if you see, little bit like, comparing to previous times, they have reduced it when it comes to. Same way, even if you see, certain actors, when I'm not taking the names exactly, but certain actors, they used to do every advertisement. They never see what product it is. Even nowadays, I've seen this. I feel like this is a kind of scam that happens. Mainly, so many influencers, beauty influencers, when it comes to telling that, yeah, this is my skincare routine, you please look into it. And like that, they used to give. And they will give us some random product, which paid promotion. They will bring and they will see, yes, I'm using it. My skin is becoming so good. And many of the youth, and many of the people falls for that. They buy that products, and if you see the real products that these influencers who will be using will be very costly, but they will promoting this middle brands, so that promoting brands is not wrong, but you should not say I am using it, I am looking like this just because I'm using it. So like that they used to promote. Same ways, and you would have all know about Sai Pallavi. She's a very famous actress. She refused to act in Fair and Lovely advertisement, telling that it is against my ethics. She literally asked them the question: is your product really making people fair within 1 week? What you claim? They don't know. So she told, I can't do it because that is my ethics. So like that, there are a lot of people who does not do advertisement also, who only does some things which has some like truth in it. So misleading advertisement is something that is very common in now, even though we have laws which is very stringent, but still we can see the false promises this companies or the organizations. If you see ethics in financial practices, financial reporting or investment practices, companies should have an accurate reporting to its stakeholders, and it should avoid company means it is not only the only shareholders or the people who have invested. There will be a lot of people who comes under our organization. So whatever financial practices or whatever financial strategies that is being implemented in a company, it has to be with transparency. Everyone I'm not telling all the financial transactions should be known to all, but there should be some financial transparency so that people should know about it. Next, if you see ethical leadership, it is about guiding organization through a very good mission or vision, or having a promoting your people with accountability and ethical behavior. See, I will say leaders should have a very open transparency and accountability. They should be responsible for the work that they are doing, and they should be responsible in a way that they should know what it is or what actually is happening. They should have a proper understanding about it, and ethical leadership is very important to consideration. For example, this is a small example. Okay,